fam. So today I am at the Valentine Phoenix and I wonder if I can turn this around. Yay! So you can check it out. The Valentine Phoenix. It's a very cool spot. First time I am here. And so I wanted to come on live today and just talk about a couple things that, as the title shares, Pride, the Prejudice, and House of Cards. And, really, I had a personal experience on a social media platform. But it's also something that I think, just goes more into our mastery of human development, right? So the Pride and Prejudice. So, so many times we have events going on. Hey, Sally! What's up, girl? Can you hear me? Because I have my iPods in. Can you hear me? Let me just see. Oops. Let's see. Can you hear me? So let me see. I hope you can hear me. Yes, no, maybe so. Thumbs up. Anyways, I'm hoping that you can. And so, this is really about when certain events happen in our lives or in society, right? We see destruction or chaos and, just a lot of things that aren't okay, or judgments, right? Whether it's political and so on and so forth, that, a lot of the time, first, before I go deeper into what I want to actually talk about, is people are expecting you, especially as a leader, right? Are expecting you to speak up about it, or they shame you for not having spoken up about it. And an art and mastery, right? Being able to master the art of listening and knowing when to speak up is really important. So say there is a hot topic going on, or there's a huge news flash going on, sometimes you feel obligated to speak up. But you don't have to just because you're a leader. Sometimes silence is just as profound. And being a master in knowing who you are is knowing when to speak. And the other thing too is if I know personally for me, but if this resonates with you, you don't have to speak up about everything. Just because, and yeah, it could be something devastating, whether it's a natural disaster or a bomb going off, right? If you feel called to speak up about it, then you definitely should speak up about it. Hey, Dana. Dana, can you hear me? I'm gonna ask again. Dana, can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Knowing when to speak up about a subject and knowing when to observe and be silent is really an art of mastery. And so, I don't think it's right that we should shame people if they're not speaking up about something, and know that it is okay if you don't speak up about something, and simply observing what's happening And like I was saying before, if you do feel called to speak up and you don't, well, that's not necessarily healthy too, but we shouldn't be shaming other people if they're not speaking up about something, because if you do feel like you're a leader in your community, or if you have your own community, or if it's even just your family, even, like, that's a big deal too, right? It's not something small. You know, if people are looking to you to say something and you're not ready to, know that that's okay. It's simply communicating that. But then if you feel like people are pressuring you to speak up about something, like, your energies will be spread thin. And I know personally for me, like, I definitely like speaking up about different events and topics, but if I did that with every hot topic that came around, like, my energy would be spread thin too much all the time. So that's something I really, wanted to talk about. So personally, like, if you do follow me and I don't speak up about everything, like, I just maybe don't feel called, or there's other people doing it. And that's okay for other people to speak up about it, and knowing that there are others doing it and that not everyone has to do it, right? So then what I want to go deeper into with Pride and the Prejudice. So I had a personal experience on a social media platform. I'm not going to name the platform what it is. Overall, I think the platform is good, but it happens, right? So I had someone judge me for being a pansexual. And a lot of the time, people fear what they don't know. They fear what they don't know. And so when you understand that, it's not necessarily okay what they said, but you can, a lot of the time, look at it through a different lens. Also, a lot of the time, people will project onto you what they believe to be true, or they will project onto you their insecurities or their fears, right? They'll project onto you all of that. So this person basically shamed me, right, for being a pansexual, and I looked at this as a teaching moment. Now, if it was in person, let me be honest, I don't know if I would have reacted the same way, right? Because when it's like in person, I might have responded differently, right? Like, I'm just going to be real with you. I may have responded differently. But because it was on a social media platform, I was kind of able to contemplate how I want to respond. And if I would have responded back with my pride and my own judgments of belief, then I would be no better than that person. And, I basically told this person, like, I am not pressing my own beliefs. And it was really a post that I just put a couple days ago, maybe last weekend now. It wasn't a couple days, I think it was last weekend, about, putting out pansexual pride. Because a lot of people don't know what a pansexual is. And I think sometimes when we don't know what something is, firstly, asking questions about it. And if you still don't know, it's okay, but it doesn't mean you have to judge that person just because you fear the unknown. And so first off, pansexual is being attracted to all. So what that means is like, it doesn't matter the gender. Sometimes people say it's gender blind. So I could be attracted to a gay man or, a woman, whether they're heterosexual or not. Maybe they're a transgender. Like, it encompasses all, okay? And so I just, wrote back to that person, like, basically, like, I catalyzed you and I don't take your judgment. And you are judging me from your own belief, and I'm not pressing my own beliefs on you. I'm not asking anyone to change their beliefs. And any of the videos I do, I'm simply sharing a perspective that could be different. And if you find that inspirational, great. And other times that may catalyze you. And if it does catalyze you, then I urge you to take a deeper look to why it's catalyzing you or triggering you. What's deeper in that truth? And so I ended up saying, to that person, like, I forgive your judgment, but, you're like, basically, like, I'm not pressing my belief onto anyone, and I'm not asking to. And so, yeah, I feel like it's really important. Sometimes when we bring in these higher perspectives, people do get triggered, so they feel threatened by it, and so they think that we're pressing our beliefs onto them, and it's not true. So, what I also want to talk about is I'm really feeling in different topics that there is a disconnect of compassion with humanity right now, and has been. It's just very prevalent because a lot of people, especially with social media platforms, are speaking up about their truth a lot more now, or their beliefs. And so, I also put a post yesterday, like, our greatest gift to each other is actually showing peace, love, and compassion to one another. Even if their political view is different, even if their, sexual orientation is different, even if their whatever their belief system, whatever their choice in healthcare is, whatever, however they want to live their life, like, our biggest gift to each other of humanity is peace, love, and compassion. And then the last topic I want to talk about is that I got from this theme called The House of Cards, and it comes from, I'm going to slash his name, but Thich Nhat Hanh. I hope I'm saying it right. Thich Nhat Hanh. And so it's really about, in a house of cards, right? I had an image earlier. I wish I had an image, but say you have a stack of house of cards, right? So if we remove one card, all the rest collapse, right? And each card depends on the others. And without each one, there is no house, right? There is no house. And it really draws deeper into this concept of one is all and all is one. And, with that, it really means each is vital to the existence of the whole, and therefore to the existence of all other parts. So, if someone is judging you, shaming you, or doing something that, one could be hurtful if you don't have the confidence or just the support, because I think, maybe if I didn't have the support and where I'm at, and, maybe even a year ago I might have reacted differently, or definitely a few years ago I would have reacted differently, and so, if you're not sure how to respond, then I definitely suggest reaching out, for support and how you may want to approach, because you definitely shouldn't endure shaming and judgment. But that is only if you feel like it is really bothering you, or if you really internalize it, then you should really do something about it. But if you don't, and you really feel your truth, you feel empowered by who you are, then I really suggest for you to just, move on to the next thing, because anytime someone brings on negativity and you push back with more negativity, it just feeds the negativity, and so if someone judges you and you want to judge back, we really just got to release our pride and the prejudice, the judgments of others, and that's when we can really evolve and create a better communication for connection and understanding one another. And that is what ultimately this is really about. Also, I do want to reach out to the pansexual community or any pride community if you do feel like you need support and you're not sure how to go about that with, you know, I do realize a lot of people don't have support in their family or in their community for, you know, their sexual orientation being different. You know, I am here to support you. So if you do feel like you need further support in that area in your life, you know, I know it can really be scary. So it's important to find your tribe and like-minded people, and if it's something you're wrestling with and how to go about it, I really urge you to find like-minded people and a supported community there for you, whether it's spiritually based or not. If it is spiritually based, then you can still find judgments in those areas, right? So really finding a place of safety and heart-centered truth will lead you to the right direction. All right, guys, so thank you for the people who jumped on my live. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I just really felt called to have this topic. It's really relevant, and so many people are reacting to judgments and to the outside world, not realizing that, you know, sometimes we just need to take a moment and call in for more compassion, because the person who judged me and said what they said, like, that person ultimately actually needs compassion and love in their life, because I guarantee you that that person who shamed me for my sexuality is really unhappy with themselves. Like, I guarantee it. So I just, you know, I called in my compassion and went to my heart-centered truth before I wanted to respond. And, you know, again, like I said, if that had been in person, I don't necessarily know if I would have responded that way. I don't know. I would hope to, right? I would hope to have responded that way, but, you know, we are human beings, and sometimes when it is in person, we respond instead of observe. So anyways, guys, if you need more support, or, you know, and you're, you know, whether it's, you know, sexually based or not, spiritually, mind, body, spirit, right? I'm here for that. If you need a little bit more guidance in how to actually hold and carry some of those tougher conversations that you have with people about hot topics, I am here for that too. But just like a quick tip is, if you are knowing, obviously if you don't know and it's just all of a sudden, it's kind of hard to prepare for that. But if you had an interaction with someone, and, you know, it didn't go as you liked, maybe you said some words that you wish you hadn't said, and you do want to have another conversation with that person, then my biggest thing would be to go into your heart space and see how you can actually lend compassion to that person, and to actually have a conversation more for connecting to that person, and not just going in there of needing to say through your pride and your own truths and beliefs and being like, no, this is, you know, this is what I believe and this is what has to be true, right? Because it's not necessarily true for the other person, and that's okay too. They deserve that right. All right, so I hope you have a grateful day, and of course, enjoy the moment and alchemize your life.